Gordon's life was a very interesting life. He was filled with life, he was robust, he was fun, he was a party himself. Wherever he was, there was a party. But he lived with tragedy. He and his wife, their first son died in childbirth, right after childbirth, cystic fibrosis. His second son survived with cystic fibrosis into his 20s, and they lived life to the fullest despite the tragedy. Of course, there was Gordon the psychologist, who was a powerful and dynamic person, and single-handedly changed clinical psychology. He founded this program that the APA said, you'll never get it approved, it's 20 years ahead of its time. And in fact, it was approved, started in '51, and it was approved in 1957.
Derner, to me, was a visionary. He had a vision of promoting psychoanalysis, promoting it through a university stand as opposed to a freestanding psychoanalytic institute. He was quite a paternal figure to many of the students.
In 1977, I was a 21-year-old with very little professional experience, no real clinical knowledge, from a working class family. Neither of my parents had college degrees. I was the first person in my extended family to go to graduate school. And I was the youngest person in my class. And I was scared to death. Gordon Derner embraced me and supported me without singling me out.
At one point in the early 1970s, Little Adelphi had graduated more black clinical psychologists than any other program in the nation. He was deeply committed to that. But because of that, he was a controversial figure. Gordon Derner's program, the Derner Institute, now serves as a model for over half of the clinical psychology programs in North America.
When I was here, we had approximately 4 to 6 African American students and approximately 4 to 6 Hispanic. That was per class. So he made a commitment that was highly unusual. So by having come here to the Derner Institute, really opened up tremendous professional avenues that would not have been available to me.
Even more than Dr. Derner loved psychology, Gordon loved justice. And I had no idea that this white man in cowboy boots wearing silver was going to change my life so dramatically. Many people think that the way to deal with diversity is to pretend that everyone is the same. Gordon Derner said, we are different. We're really very different. Look at me. And we should celebrate those differences.
When I look back, I have great affection and a lot of gratitude for Dr. Derner and the effect that he's had on my life. But I had no idea that this was the person I would be thinking of more than 30 years later.
I remember people feeling that this was home. Not only did he accomplish bringing people in, but he made everyone feel comfortable, and I know in my class we didn't think twice about the diversity. We were the class.
The context in which I learned psychology and really learned how to be a professional was one in which I was not alone. And that was by Gordon's design.
We now have about 1,200 alumni from the program, and so many of our people have played a significant role in founding new organizations, in building them and in maintaining them.
I think that what I learned at Adelphi and from Gordon, that finding the way you want to make a difference in the world is what's important. And I don't think I realized how much he had influenced my life until he was gone. How sad that makes me still.
I saw Gordon Derner seeing in us our capability, our future. So the way that I teach students today, I don't teach them in terms of what they present, but in terms of what their possibilities are.
I think that what really distinguishes the Derner Institute is that we are trained to see patients as human beings we interact with, as human beings who've been going through a lot through their lives and who we should empathize with.
I think the most meaningful experience for me so far has been the diversity of perspectives that my cohort, my classmates have brought. When we have a topic to talk about, there's 20 different perspectives, and I think all of them are valid. Whether I agree with them or not, I really appreciate that everybody can bring something to the table.
Derner is helping me achieve my professional goals by simply having a little bit of everything. They have a great balance of academic work, clinical work, research experience, and I have the opportunity to kind of create my own individualized education plan. So I can pursue the opportunities that I want to that's going to help me do what I want to do in the future.
The Derner Institute has changed tremendously and remained the same. Our focus is still on psychodynamic treatment. The research component of it has expanded in very positive and productive ways.
The enduring legacy is that he changed the face of clinical psychology, both in terms of diversity and in terms of professional training. And, we admire him for it. To say that it changed my life coming here, it'd be an understatement. It transformed me.